Hey friends, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be adding touches of fall throughout the house, a little bit of Halloween, and doing some moody home updates as well. So we're starting here in the living room. I do tend to jump around a little bit when I'm decorating, so you'll notice I'll kind of hop around the rooms a bit. But the first thing I wanted to do was get these drapes up. I found these actually on Amazon. They're kind of a velvet texture, really beautiful vintage floral pattern, nice and dark and moody. This living room just has not felt cozy, and I'm thinking some pattern, some texture, some color will help to cozy it up a bit. So that's where we're going to start off for today. We're revisiting the Witch's Cottage theme that I did in the sunroom last year, bringing it inside, reusing a lot of the items, but this year I'm pairing it with more of a traditional fall color palette. It will still be moody, muted, vintage, all of the things that we love about our fall and Halloween decor over here in the Meeker household. The first thing I'm going to do is create a garland to go on the mantle, and I couldn't find just a grapevine base at my local craft store, so I ended up purchasing this one for 60% off and just taking out all of the pieces that I didn't need so that I would have a nice base to actually push all of my stems into. These orange leaves I purchased from Michael's. These more neutral ones are from Kirkland's. The spirally branches that I'm using are from Hobby Lobby. And then I also have some dried eucalyptus that is also from Hobby Lobby. So I've been kind of picking these up over the last several months, just collecting them and preparing for this year's theme. I really kind of grew to love these shutters inside of the fireplace. It was a temporary throw-in last year, but I needed to remove them. They were very dusty, so I needed to give it a good cleaning back there. And I have had this in mind for a while to do. I bought this black project board from Hobby Lobby and just glued some book pages to it. Some of these I coffee stained, some of them I crumbled up. It's kind of just a mix of different things, and I really kind of wanted it to look nice and cluttered. We are going to kind of decorate around this area, but I also have things that I want to add in the next video. So if you did not weigh in on the poll, this is going to be a two-part video. There will be kind of this first part today, which is going to be mostly adding fall stuff, a tiny bit of Halloween, and then the next one we're going to be doing some more updates as well as adding a bit more of that spooky vibe into it. So in the middle of decorating this day, I ran off to the antique store because there were just several things that I felt like I needed to complete the look. And one of those things was something to put these branches in. I got the branches out of the backyard, but I had no kind of planter to put them in. So I found this metal vase planter situation that really works perfect for this. So this corner just needed some height, and I feel like the branches give it kind of a spooky vibe. So I did add some cinnamon brooms on it. I don't know that I'm going to keep these here. Bats, crows, anything really would be kind of cool to add on here. So you may see some things that are different in the next video, in the second part. I'm kind of still playing with it, so we'll kind of see what happens. I also played with this area a lot. I think I'm going to change some things here, but you can kind of see my process. I tend to edit out moving things around a lot just because I assume that people think it's boring to watch me pitter-patter with things, but I've had a couple of comments saying you want to see a little bit more of the process, so I try to do a bit of both, and hopefully somewhere in here you get the inspiration you need and you're also not bored watching me move things around. finally got around to putting up the metal bow that we voted on several videos ago. I really liked that it mimicked the shape of the arch, so this is ultimately where I decided to put it. And we're gonna do the spider webs on the mirrors. I did it on this mirror last year. Now I have an entire mirror wall. We're going to do it to the whole thing. And this first mirror, I really wanted to keep this clip in real time so you can see how I work the spider webs. I get questions oftentimes about how I make them look so realistic. And I think it's just because I really take my time and I spread them really, really thin. In some clips, you will not be able to see the webs all that well on some of the mirrors, and they are still there, and in person, it's much more noticeable, but I think they look a lot more realistic if you take your time and spread them incredibly thin. It was a bit more difficult to get the webs strung all over these smaller mirrors that aren't hung up as sturdy as that big one is, but thankfully nothing fell, nothing broke, and I was able to just go back and straighten them after. When it comes to removing excess webs, I will take some scissors and cut a little bit, and then I will pull off as much as I can so that I don't have a thick, like straight cut in the webs. I mentioned when I did this mirror wall that I'd let you know what I thought about these light bulbs that came in the sconces. They do not hold a charge well. I have to recharge them every couple of uses. I do like that they're dimmable and that the light is like a nice warm tone, but they are kind of a pain, so I think I'm gonna be searching for something else that I just don't need to charge as often. We're gonna throw some fall foliage in here just to kind of repeat that same look that we have in the living room. And here we are using some black florals, which I didn't do in the living room, but I might go back and add into the living room in the next video because I do like the way this looks. And then we're also going to add some cinnamon brooms up here in this kind of center spot, which now I feel like I need something to permanently go up here because I really love the way these look. I feel like just something that adds a little bit more height in here is really nice. So I love where these ended up. Moving into the dining room, we're going to give the china cabinet a little refresh. I don't like to decorate the inside of it too much because I don't like to redecorate the inside of it too much. There are also some dishes that I would have loved to put in here, but I actually think I'm going to use them for a tablescape in the next video. So I didn't want to have to like then redecorate the whole thing. So I kind of left what was in there, added some fall touches. I love the way the top of this came out. I think it looks really nice. The birds, I am putting somewhere else, the birds on the driftwood, but I had these dried hydrangeas and I felt like it just needed a little like floral touch up there. So I decided just to use these dried hydrangeas in this pretty vase that I got at an antique store that I shared a couple videos ago. I love this vase. It's such a warm, pretty color. Added some creepy cloth and I really like the way this came out up here. I think it's really like conveys that antique witch vibe. So like I said, I don't like to do a ton in here, but I did want to put in some dried florals. I had this little vase and I just made it an arrangement out of dried florals, some twigs. I have some pumpkins that I'm going to put in here. And then I also have a bunch of jars that I used in my Apothecary last year that are filled with not only dried florals, but also like flower petals and things like that. So this is going to be like our little Apothecary. Moving over to the buffet, I really wanted to use the typewriter since I just got it recently, so while it doesn't necessarily fit with the witchy theme, I still think it all looks good over here, so we're just kind of going to roll with it. The lamp was also something that I found at that antique store when I went and got the planter. Love the lamp. It's a very cool, it looks like an old column kind of, but it's, I don't know, it's just unique. I love it. The cloche was $5 at a garage sale. I found this like the day before I finished styling this, so it was perfect timing. We're gonna fill it with a couple of things. I do think I need to add some lights because it's a little bit dark in front of the print that I end up putting in here, but the buffet overall is a good base. I think I just need to add a few things to it, which we'll do in the next video. And of course I have to include a little DIY. So I've had this frame, I think I got it at a garage sale probably a year ago and it was probably like $1. I have wanted to zhuzh it up for a while and I'm finally getting the chance. So I'm taking some antique gold rub and buff and gilding the outer portion and the inner portion of this frame. And then for that middle section, I'm gonna take some black paint and go around it with that. So I love these vintage style frames, but I never see them when I'm out thrifting or antiquing, so I wanted to kind of create my own version of that. So I made a really exciting discovery about a month or so ago. I was examining the crown molding on the main level of our house when I realized that the bottom piece is actually a picture rail molding. So I was super excited, hopped on Amazon, ordered some picture rail hooks, and then started DIYing this little hanging system. I grabbed a print from our Etsy shop and had it printed on a mat board so that I could put it in this frame since it didn't have a backing, which is what I'm doing here. Grabbed some chain from a local hardware store. I did have to spray paint it so you can kind of see the difference there. And then just use these little hooks to essentially create my hanging system. I put 2 on the bottom of this top frame so that I could connect the bottom frame to the top frame using a bit of my chain and some S-hooks. And then I will take chain and hang the top frame from the picture rail hooks. So it's a lot of little pieces, but it's totally worth it. It gives me versatility to move the artwork around in the house without putting holes in the wall. And that's such a benefit to us because we have plaster walls. So very excited about this. And I will be sure to link these prints down below for you. The bottom one is actually from our Etsy shop. We have so many beautiful prints for fall, so be sure to check that out. The launch discount for 20% off of your purchase is going through the end of September, so you still have a few days to take advantage of that if you'd like to. I'll be sure to have the code down below for you. And tune in next week where we do part 2 of this decorating series. I'm going to give you guys kind of a look around at everything we did today, and we'll see you next week.